Good morning. Checking out my bedhead, putting on some chapstick. You know, the huge. It's been a couple days. These are the first words I've spoken this morning, and my what do you call it? Voice seems kind of grumbly. There we go. So good morning, everybody. It has been a couple of days, but hey, here we are. It's Thursday. Thursday, what? Is it the 19th? 19th? Yeah, February 19th. Coffee and Calm. Nice to see you. Purely Stephanie. Welcome. I'm just getting caught up on my quote of the day schedules. There we go. All right, I've got a few fun quotes to go through. There we go. Farm Girl, good morning to you as well. Earlier for you than it is for me, though it is 8 o'clock Eastern. We're very close by. There we go. Much better now. Much better. Sprinkle your blessings. Yes, so here we are. It is Thursday. So I was off Tuesday and Wednesday. We did something special for my mom's birthday, which isn't until about over a month from now, but just whatever. Oh, there you go. Yeah, been up since 5. Well, hey, at least it looks like your kitty. It may be your doggy. I was up pretty early because of my own brain. Oh, hey, there we go. Kara, 4 days to myself, she says. Hubs took his dad to Arizona for spring training. Lots planned. Interesting. We have friends who went down to Florida for spring training, and I don't know enough about, I'm assuming it's the baseball, that different teams, I almost said different bands. It's comical to hear me talk about sports. Different teams go to different states, I reckon. Sorry, I'm just looking here and I'm like, I get floaters in my eyes. No fun. But yay, you've got lots planned. Wonderful. Wonderful. If I can help with your plans in any way, remember Beth, Destination Declutter, Decluttering Life Coach. One cool thing, Cactus League. Okay, I love it. Cool. Any place to go warm. Speaking of warm, this time next week you will not see me because I will be on a plane to one of my favorite places, Palm Springs, California. Leslie M., good morning for you too. So here we are. We are what? 3/4 of the way through February, 2/3 of the way through February. How are you doing this Thursday? Let's check in with ourselves, shall we? We haven't done this in a while. All right, from the crown on down, I kind of feel like I'm on Romper Room. From the crown on down, how are you feeling? Ooh, Farm Girl loves the mid-century modern style too. Awesome. Everybody's welcome. I'm feeling pretty good. It's funny. When I woke up this morning, I did not get myself a beer, Mr. Morrison, but I did realize when I got out of bed that actually from the crown on down, when I got to my feet were kind of achy because I was in New York City yesterday and I walked about 6 miles. Got a lot of cool, fun stuff done. But yeah, feeling a little bit of that, but I could feel so much worse. So from the crown on down, how are you feeling this morning? And then, how are you feeling nervous system-y? What's your nervous system? It's that kind of electricity that runs through you, you know, and you think about watching those hospital shows where they show like EKGs and stuff. Maybe you're spiking, you're all freaking out about stuff. Maybe you're like, I don't even know if I'm alive. Or maybe, hopefully, you're kind of floating right in between. If not, let's try to get you to, as Goldilocks would say, that just right point, all right? Breathing down, calming down, rebuking what you don't want, feeling better, writing down, and then chunking down. I'm telling you, those 4 downs, crown, nervous system, writing, and chunking, you use those 4 simple ingredients. That's like butter, sugar, flour, and salt, and you can make a really good cookie. Barbara, good morning. Oh, hey, that's fun. Kids number 1 and 2 having a road trip. And I bet kid number 1 is going to wave to the Pee-wee's dinosaurs, the Cabazon dinosaurs on the way out. That's awesome. Very fun. Very fun. I hope you have some fun scheduled for today. Do I have some fun scheduled today? I had a lot of fun. This is my schedule from the last 2 days. And how exciting is it? What a feeling of good. What a good feeling. It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. You're growing inside, and when you wake up ready to say, I think I'll make a snappy new day. It's such a good feeling, a very good feeling, a feeling to know you're alive. I hung out with my mother for a bit these last 2 days. I am telling you, bursting out into random song runs in my family, okay? Yeah. All right. Now, Star Queen says, each morning I believe I'm going to get so much done. Somehow I stay optimistic. So it sounds like the amount you have done does not equal the amount the amount you think you're going to get done and the amount you get done are at two different levels. Here's what I recommend, Star Queen, seriously. Our brains aren't always good at estimating things. So if this is about how much you get done in every day, just lower your estimation. Lower your estimation. You'll feel better about what you get done because you won't have that gap of stuff that was between what I got done and what I thought I would get done. Nothing wrong with that. Feel good about what you got done. And that will, I think, make your optimism even more optimistic. There we go. Melissa, exhausted maybe from work. So your number one, your nervous system, or excuse me, you're from the crown on down, is tired. Yeah, is tired. And that's okay. I love to lay in bed when I don't have to get up by myself. So do it. Feel better. Hang out with me. I don't care what you're doing. You can do anything you want with this time. Now, I'm the one who will be here for the next 53 minutes, keeping you company. And if you want to lay down in bed, you can. If you want to get up and declutter, you can. You can do anything. You can do anything you want. I'm just here to help you with that. Now, to me, if you're tired, if you're physically tired, that means your body is like, whoa, we need to take care of ourselves before things getting worse. Blood type, you're asking if I'm on YouTube today. I am. Yes. If you want to know when, this is when I'm going to be sassy. Please, everybody, practice checking the secret page. I'm going to do it myself because I don't know the last time we get declutter parties coming up this weekend. This is me looking at the secret page. You can get your tickets. I'm going to open up this one link in a split tab. I need to, there are no, when you see the thing that says schedule your one-on-one coaching consultation, there are currently none of them on the calendar. So just know about that. But when you are part of the email group, you will be the first to be notified. You can download and print your habit tracker. I was good at this stuff even when I was away. I was psyched about that. Not all of it, but some of it. Thursday, February 19th. Right. 8 a.m. TikTok. 11 a.m. YouTube. Okay. 11 a.m. YouTube. And it could be, I could be wrong, I could be right. Let me check. Okay, yes. Today's YouTube could possibly be my 1,000th video to be posted on the YouTube channel. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, and blood type reset. You can check your email because every email I send out should have a link to the secret page. Just bookmark it and know where it is, and then you'll be there because it's not anything public. There we go. All right, Jelly Bee. Jelly Bee is curious what everyone is going to do this hour. Jelly Bee is declaring. I declare. A declaration is a great thing. A Declaration of Independence, 1776. Curious about what everyone is doing in this hour. I am going to declutter my desk, says Jelly Bee. I love that. Go for it. I can't wait to hear how it feels even in 10 minutes. All right? I do love the fact that Farm Girl, the parties are very motivating. Yes, the parties are very motivating. And so a declutter party is when we all get together on Zoom and make it just a little bit more official. You declutter your house for an hour and a half. I declutter mine. Everybody who shows up. Now you buy a ticket to get into this party, but the ticket money goes directly to a food bank. So you're helping other people while you're helping yourself. Now, Farm Girl is declaring. Anybody else want to declare? I'm going to declutter my kitchen. Okay, so decluttering your desk, decluttering your kitchen. Anybody need any help with that, you just pop it in the comments and I can help you with it, okay? Because this is what I do. I'm a decluttering life coach. I am decluttering my own life, and I am so close to. I want to say dealing with. I guess dealing with layers of clutter, deep layers of clutter in my stage of the game, because I'm on this road trip of decluttering along with you. You guys may be just beginning, you may be on your way. I'm kind of closer to almost being done. And I am looking and touching stuff that I haven't seen in 40 years. Yeah. So Farm Girl. All right. So I'll help you, Farm Girl, for a second. But Sharon Klein, hello, new here. I'm a hoarder and I don't know where to start. I will say two things with love. One is make sure you're feeling okay physically. But also, if you are calling yourself a hoarder, that's okay. I'm not judging. But what I want to say is your nervous system has a lot to do with what you keep and your comfort in keeping things and your comfort in letting go of things. And one of the things I'm going to mention right off the bat, it's not going to be start with the easy stuff. It's going to be check your mental health. Because hoarding is something that is affected by your mental health. And so while I'm a decluttering life coach, I am a certified life coach, I am not a mental health professional, but there are professionals out there that can help you with that. Now, I will say, even just on our kind of informal level, calming down your nervous system, feeling that you can trust that if you let go of something, nothing bad is going to happen. That is really where it's at, not just for people who, are kind of on the spectrum of hoarding to just kind of having clutter, but a lot of it is nervous system safety. If you don't feel safe that you can buy another can of tuna fish at the store, you're going to want to keep all the cans of tuna fish, even if they're piling up in your cupboard. Okay? So that's one of the things I want to help. But feel free to hang out and just listen, because I'm sure you can find things that I would think that can help. All right? So good luck. And I mean that with love. Farm Girl is saying, what is a good way to keep your kitchen island or counters from being a catch-all? Two things I want to offer to you. One is get comfortable with the fact that not every waking moment in your kitchen is going to be looking like it's magazine worthy. Okay? So know that, especially counters, especially kitchens. Kitchens tend to be a very high traffic area in the house, and flat surfaces tend to be someplace where we just put things down. Okay? But this is what I would say. How long do you want those counters to catch things? So to keep your counter from being a catch-all, it can be a temporary catch-all. What I would focus on is catching yourself in the habit of putting things down. Now, while I will admit I am not a great, don't put it down, put it away. Sometimes I put things down, but I try to keep the time that I put them down short. So like yesterday when I came back from my trip, I dumped my stuff on the counters in the kitchen and stuff like that. But then I puttered and decluttered and I put the things away. Okay, so one is that your house surfaces in your house will temporarily be used for what surfaces are good for. How long that stuff stays on those surfaces is completely up to you. So check yourself. Ask yourself, why haven't I put that away yet? Is it because it's too difficult? If it's too difficult, let's talk about that. All right? I can help you with it. All right? Alrighty, I love it. Kara's Garden. Not only is Kara, I love it. I get so psyched when I hear people making plans to use our time together to your benefit. So yay for the people declaring what they're going to do. And I love a declaration that has a time-sensitive kind of, due date, right? So for example, during this TikTok live, so that's a container of time. There's a beginning that was 8 a.m. and there's an end, which is 9 a.m. Eastern in my time zone. You do the math. But there's also, Kara's bumping it out a little bit. She says before YT, before YouTube. So I have a YouTube live. And she says before that one, these are the things I'm going to get done. Laundry times 2. Pack 2 boxes. 2 mints in 1. Redo Amber picks and 10 to 20 drafts in Marketplace. Pay the bills and desk clearing. Awesome, friend. That sounds like a plan. Anything I can do to help, you let me know. Kat Roby's here. Now, Kat Roby, to me, is almost like the OG follower here, or not follower, that has a weird name, person here in our community who has shown us the power of declaring what you want to do and putting it in the comments. So she calls it her SBB, her scheduled Beth blinders, because my name is Beth and it's scheduled. And she puts on her blinders to kind of focus on what she wants to focus on, as opposed to being distracted by everything all around her, right? So Kat Roby, 1, 20-minute tidy, 2 chairs, 3 counters. Notice how specific she's getting. 2, draw a bath. And I don't believe she's going to be, sketching a tub. Reflect and get ready for a meeting at 7. Yay. Ooh, Barbara says, I will finish. Notice the declarative verbiage. Transferring a 10 to 25 foot unit into a 10 by 10 unit. Some doom, but some organizing. Rock on. Yeah. Yep. Now here's an interesting thing. Farm Girl is saying, I've noticed, and I love when people notice. I've noticed since I live by myself, I don't put things away as much. Bad habit. Okay? Now I will say this, it's a habit. The fact that you're calling it a bad habit means that you would like to have a better habit. Bad, good. A lot of times we will declutter to a higher degree if other people are watching, if we think other people are going to see our stuff. I know that full well because right now, as I look around my room, it's actually pretty good, but just because I've been doing this for years, people. But even now, I have random stuff that's on my desktop that if I knew people were coming over the house, I would tidy them up. So what I would offer for you for this, Farm Girl, and this was funny because you and I believe, were talking about chipped bowls and whatnot. My husband just sent me an Etsy or an eBay listing for some Fiesta Ware bowls that we're thinking of adding a few more to our collection because we broke a few. You deserve to live in a house, in a home. I'll say home because it doesn't have to be a house. I deserve to live in a home that makes me feel good. I deserve to live in a home that looks good wherever I lay my eyes on things, even if nobody else sees this. So notice yourself. If you didn't mind it, you wouldn't put it in the comments. But there's something about that that's kind of bugging you, And so just notice that. Change the thing that bugs you. And you can do that. And oftentimes, frankly, it can be as, I'll say simple, not necessarily easy, but notice how simple this formula is, okay? Write it down to yourself. And Farm Girl, this is why I say write things down, because it also, when you write down stuff, especially with pen, it kind of puts a little divot into the paper. You also kind of do that, I like to think, with your brain. So thinking a different thought, thinking a thought, this is the simple part. Thought plus feeling equals action. You think a thought, you feel a feeling, you act or you don't act. Depending upon what that thought is, it can make you feel good or bad. So notice, it doesn't matter. It's just me. I'm here. Nobody else is going to see this place. Maybe make you feel, oh, well, whatever, doesn't matter. But at the end result is you probably don't pick those things up. Yet the result of that kind of math problem, this plus this equals that, equals you're not feeling so good about it. Because you're saying it's a bad habit, I don't like it, I noticed. If you liked it, you would own it and you would say, I really don't care. So that's okay. You can care about, there's nothing wrong with wanting things to be tidier than they are. And doing it for yourself, to me, is a really interesting approach, because a lot of us were trained to deny ourselves and to look to please other people. Hello, being a human, being a woman on this planet. So I like to show up as the counter to that, to say, do it for yourself first. And here's a fun thing. I used to go doing a lot of road trips. That's why I use this road trip metaphor. And it all goes back to self-love. It really does. But self-love is not contained. Self-love also can have a positive ripple effect. So loving yourself is not a selfish act. meaning I'm keeping it to myself and nobody else. It's not greedy. It is a generous act. You feel good, you radiate goodness. My goodness, if I did not feel good, I would not be showing up for years now on TikTok Live and YouTube Live doing videos. I'd be like, screw you, I got to make myself feel better. But what I offer to you is on the road trips, okay? I would buy, like I would look at and sometimes buy, and that was part of my clutter, are these goofy little tacky tacky souvenirs that were like left over from the 60s and 70s and maybe the 80s and today. And you would see a trivet that said something like, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Okay, so let's subtract the negatives out of that. If mama is happy, other people will be happy too. So yeah, you deserve to live in a home that makes you feel good when you look around it. When you look around your house, how does that make you feel? And if it doesn't make you feel good, let's do something about it. Okay? I love looking around my house and loving what I see. Sure, there are corners that are, like right now, I took down my giant travel calendar. So I have a big wall right here that's empty, and it had been empty for a while, but I got a better travel calendar that looks pretty. I actually bought it from somebody who advertises here on TikTok. But now I have an empty wall, but I'm not afraid of the space. I'm not afraid of the absence of something. I am thinking of this as holding space for just the right thing, just what I want. Think about dating. If you're afraid of being alone, if you're afraid of the empty space, you may date a bunch of losers. Steve and Tracy, adult children's rooms are cluttered. Perspective, train them how to declutter. Seriously, one of the reasons I, at my advanced age, and anybody here of any decade is showing up and hanging out with me, is because we were not taught a good, sustainable, non-judgmental, organic way to take care of our stuff. So I would say, Steve and Tracy, if they're your adult children, I'm assuming they're living with you. So there could be a little bit of, expectations. What if they don't want to? Of course they don't want to. I mean, this is where you think your kids are adults, but really we all have that inner toddler in us. You can't make me. I don't wanna. Right? This is when, even though they're adult children, and trust me, I don't have children. I'm an auntie. But I know this ain't easy, okay? But I would say I get tired of telling them, okay, so I would ask you this. I would say I don't know the arrangement. So this is my lack of detail is going to suppose a lot of things. Okay? And I would give them consequences. My assumption is if you are if it's one thing, like if I go to my sister's house and it's a mess, that's her house. If she was living with me, it would be another story. Now, I would at least have firm boundaries, and the closest relationship I have is my husband and I would have mutually agreed upon boundaries, but I'm, of what the level of clutter, an acceptable level of clutter is in the public areas. Maybe not so much in my husband's studio versus mine. So if it's your house and you're paying and they're not paying rent, there should be a certain amount of expectations if you want it, And I would say having a conversation with them and being an adult, frankly, is not expecting somebody else to pick up your shit after you. Not being a little kid. I don't wanna. It's, okay, so they are paying rent. So if they are paying rent then, and it's their space, I would say, respect that. You are now no longer parent and child. Start to think about yourselves as roommates, that they have agency over what's from their door into their room. So maybe the best thing you can do then, if they're paying rent, is to ask them to shut the door if you don't want to see it. Okay? Think of it as a different relationship. You are now you're kind of their parent, I would love it if you could train them if they wanted to, so that when they do move out on their own, they can keep track of their own house. However, that's a different convo. I would say, like, I've lived with roommates before, and we had an agreement on what went on in the public areas and the expectations of keeping things decent at a level that was acceptable to everybody. And usually, if there's somebody who likes more clutter and somebody who needs less clutter, it should always default to the person who needs less clutter, because you don't mind it if it's less cluttered. What happens behind bedroom doors is none of my business. When I had roommates, really is none of mine. If the door was open and I saw clutter, I wouldn't want them judging me. So why would I judge them? Yeah. All right. So Laura, I'm so tired. My adult child came back, pays nothing, and doesn't help in any way whatsoever. Okay? And I say this too. And again, I'm just some random loving person on the TikTok here. But I say this. My adult child came back because you were kind enough to allow them to live with you. Now, I would say, past the point of, kind of graduating from high school, there should be a new agreement about what it means to live in this house. Because also the parenting, and I mean the raising of a person who needs to be responsible for themselves, sadly may not end at 18. So your adult came back, pays nothing, and doesn't help in any way whatsoever. I see a lot of things that could change right there, which would be to make you less tired, have them pay something and help. Yes, and notice, and again, Stephen, Tracy, and Laura, what I would recommend too is notice the shifting from the parent-child relationship to roommate relationship where you both have to pay rent, with a landlord-tenant relationship. Even with, we wrote a list of what we expected, they agreed we need to sit down again. This is when I go back to a work environment. So notice, if you were at work and your boss came up with a plan that said, okay, here's the agreement, we have agreed to pay you, you have agreed to do this work, there's an expectation that you will do what you say. If you don't do what you agreed to, then I'm going to call you into my office and we're going to notice the times that you haven't, but we're going to put you on a plan to correct that, because I don't want to kick you out. I don't want to get it to where I have to fire you. So sometimes even just putting on these different personas and hats of what it means can change how you address these things. And really a lot that can happen that to me that's been beneficial for me is to get out of the drama and get out of the judgment personally. Get the personal out of it and talk about it in a professional manner. If I was not your mom and you and I were roommates, I would expect you would probably act differently when you were living with somebody else, but you are used to me being a parent and cleaning up after you. That may have been the case for your first 18 years. Now, even if you're living here, we're going to change the arrangement to help you continue to grow into a person who knows how to put their own shit away. And I say that with love for all of you, because we all will benefit. You will feel better when your kids are acting like those adults, those grown adults you want. You will feel better when you have a respectful conversation with people. You will feel better when you are helping them to continue to become a kind of person that is going to be a good person on this planet, who doesn't blame other people for their things, who takes care of themselves and can help other people. So this is an act of love, even though it may feel like a tough love. You did this before when you potty trained them and taught them how to walk. It's the same life skill. Decluttering is a life skill. Decluttering is helping people, you deciding what you're going to keep and where you're going to keep it, and feeling safe enough to let go of something if it's not serving you. But what I would say is if you are struggling with decluttering and keeping your own area clean, then I would say the best place to start is making sure that you're not, what was that, the guy with the rocks and the glass houses, and not Billy Joel on that album cover, okay? But me pointing a finger at my husband about his stuff and then looking when my stuff's a mess, they can call me on that. It's not right. Take care, help yourself lead by example of what you want. Because when you learn how to do it yourself, you're a much better teacher. Okay? I hope that helps. And it can be tough to have those conversations. But if you don't have the conversation, and if you don't change things, like if you're still driving down this, if you're not getting what you want, you're not getting to that destination and staying there, you're driving in circles. The same things are going to happen. You need to stop driving in the circles. Say, hey, wait a minute, we're getting nowhere. Let's both agree. Let's both have a discussion on what we want this house to look like. And this is what I would like to look like. Yeah. Ellen, I love that you always pop up and you're just like, hey, you didn't even know I was here, but this was great. Thank you. You're welcome. Just as an interruption, just for those of you keeping an eye on the real time, I also feel like I'm back in college radio. It's now 8:31 Eastern time here at Destination Decluttered TikTok Live. My name is Beth. I'll be here for another 29 minutes. Then I sign off. I go do my stuff on my list. We come back. We do a YouTube Live. We have a grand old time. I'm here to help. I'm here to help, not to hurt. Okay? So, having a discussion, an adult discussion about what do we want to happen here. Now, we may never have had these. My family never had conversations like those, and we still struggle to. So I try to be a better communicator to my husband, and I try to communicate when I am not up here in the nervous system field of freaking out. This is why it's so important to make sure, how do you feel physically? I'm feeling okay physically, okay, good. Because if I'm cranky and tired, if I'm hungry, if I have a headache, if I feel like I'm going to poop my pants, all of that stuff is going to affect anything that I feel and do. So feeling okay physically is number one. If you don't feel good physically, seriously, people, right now, do something to make yourself feel better. If that's readjusting your seat, if it's grabbing a glass of water, okay? Yeah. Men do not do well with our drama. Yeah, men do not do well with their drama either. They are drama kings as much as the next one. But notice, yes, if you come at things from an emotional, if you bottle up and explode, as Elliot Smith would have said, who deals well with an explosion? But if you can say to somebody, hey, I am noticing at this very low level that, every time you make toast, you do everything, but you do not, I notice you do not wipe the counter and get the toast crumbs off the counter. Now, you may not notice it, but I just wanted to let you know I notice it, and it kind of bugs me. Do you have a problem? Is there any issue that I do not know about that makes you not do is there something I'm missing why you don't, scrub the crumbs away? You can have a lot better of a conversation, and here's the deal. To get the result you want, you are in a place of power if you're not so emotional off the bat. Okay? There we go. Pink Poppy Club. All right? I need to declutter my home to get it painted and sold to move. I don't know where to start. This is what I say. Really, really simple stuff. This may sound like something you ain't never heard before. How are you feeling physically? If you're not feeling good physically, do something about it. Whatever it is. Number 2, how are you feeling nervous system-y? Now, when I hear the phrase, I will tell you this. Yeah. Now, Laura, that's interesting. I'll get to that in a second because I have some thoughts on that and some feelings, obviously. When I hear the phrase, I don't know where to start, you are starting yourself. This is that to me, I'll be honest with you guys. That phrase indicates to me as a decluttering life coach that your nervous system is out of, what I would say, is kind of it's all over, it's overwhelmed. I don't know. You're starting with something you don't know. So let's start with something you do know. I do know that maybe you don't know this, but breathing down will make you feel better. Calming down your nervous system gets you out of I don't know and into I do know, because you do know plenty. The good news, Pink Poppy Club, I will stay right off the bat. It really doesn't matter where you start. I'm here to help you get out of freak out and into calming down your nervous system enough so that to help you get started anywhere. So helping yourself get started, of course there's going to be a strategy sometimes behind it, but getting yourself out of stuck and into started is really going to be the most important part. So I would say this: calming down your nervous system, breathing down, sitting down, all these downs, slowing down, quieting down, maybe drinking down some water, eyes down. Well, I say I don't know where to start, but she just said it doesn't matter. So, okay, that's cool. Doesn't matter where I start. All right, where does it feel easiest for me to start? And I would write down. That's number 3, is going to be writing down stuff. Okay? Write down what you do know. Writing down, even if this is not a daily list of things to do. This is going to be a brain dump. Get a notebook. This is how I do it, and this is how I coach. Get a notebook, right? Here's the front. The front is where we schedule stuff, but you can't schedule stuff until you know what to schedule. So flip to the back of your book and do a brain dump of all the stuff you think you need to do or want to do to your house before painting it, selling it, moving it, all that. Dump it out of your head because it's causing you overwhelm up here. Dump it out, and then we'll chunk it down. Okay? I bet you'll feel better. Now, I want to get to this. So somebody else resonated with the toast crumbs. Right. Laura says, I asked that. Response was, you're retired and do nothing all day. You can do it. Laura? Yeah. I would, ideally with love in my heart with my husband, be like, that is not necessarily the case. Here's a thing that I started realizing just a couple of weeks ago. This is something I want to, do not let the backseat driver have the last word. So notice, he's supposing you're retired to do nothing all day, much like we were talking about adult children and training them, much like you do a toddler. I'm not your mama. I do not clean up after you. And if I do clean up after you, I'm going to do it with a free conscience, and it's going to be no big deal because you've cleaned up after me. There's a difference between that. All right? Now, I don't know your relationship with your husband, but I would come back at that with something else. Okay? Now, Judy says, my daughter doesn't say it, but when I ask her to do something, she asks what I did all day. And here's an interesting thing. See, here's the thing. I can't help but think of, even you see little kids pushing. They see what they can get away with. But if you know in your heart that you're doing the right thing, you are lovingly going to insist that they grow up. And so I would say it doesn't matter what I've done all day. This is your responsibility. I am doing this because I love you. I want you to be able to take care of yourself and live in a home that looks good and functions well if we are not living together. And you could say that to a growing up child. You could say it to a grown adult who's living with you. You can say it to an 85-year-old husband who, if you die before him, he's not going to know what to do. Yeah. All righty. Sconson says, I have someone coming to fix something in the unfinished basement, embarrassed of all the clutter. So notice where, as you said, if nobody else is here, it's fine. But what if somebody else has to come in the house? External eyes will trigger a judgment response. Oh my gosh, they're going to judge me. They're going to feel, I'm going to feel embarrassed and they're going to be judging me. So let's avoid that. Let's deal with this situation. But remember that feeling that you don't like? Let's try to make it not happen again. All right? Yeah. Yeah. Now, St. Mix, does one get new place without stuck spouse who doesn't down clutter? Here's the deal. This is why I'm a decluttering life coach. Yeah. Yes, here's the deal. Judy, this is so funny because I feel like we're on a TV show, okay? I feel like I'm the woman who comes in, like I'm Auntie Beth who comes in, and I'm going to play the part of Judy, okay? So Judy, you can play the role of your daughter, and you tell me everything she says to you, and this is what I would respond to. It doesn't bother her if things aren't picked up. And you would say, and I've said this to my husband, I know it may not bother you. And when you live in your own house and you pay your own bills, you can do whatever you want. But it bothers me. I am sensitive to this clutter. So, and kind of not like, while you're living under my roof, but it's the same policy. While we live together, it is going to be a requirement of us living together for you to declutter. And again, think of this in a job description. If you are to be hired here is the level of detail you will need to do at your job to get, and I almost said a passing grade, but that's school and work together. In order for you to live here, these are the expectations. And they may not be your level of done, but I am the boss here, and this is my level of done. The other thing too is if you are roommates, that you would have to have a mutually agreed upon type of situation. And if you can't come to that agreement, maybe it's best you're not roommates. Your feelings about clutter are just as valid as that other person's. And if they don't mind it being cluttered, they also probably won't mind when it is cluttered. But I see a lot of the stretching of the boundaries. How much can I get away with? Basically, how much of a pain in the ass can I be so that we don't have to change this dynamic and you keep on cleaning up after me? They are going to pull that like the toddlers they are. We all have that inner toddler. I would so much rather, if somebody else is doing things for me and it works for my benefit, I'm going to make it a pain in the ass to change things. Why do you think patriarchy is so prevalent and why there's doubling down on this? Because a lot of people benefit from that imbalance. You swallowing your anger and quiet when you're angry about the crumbs allows them to feel like they're getting away with it. But there's a price to pay. I know it isn't easy. I know I'm sitting here saying, this stuff and I'm not living it, but I'm saying it with my love for you, the person who's showing up and I'm talking to. You deserve to live in a home that feels good. You feel good in when you look around in it. And if it's just up to you, if you're like Farm Girl and you live alone, then it's on you. If you live with other people, it's on you. And by changing what you do, what you say, what you accept, what you clean up after, but being very visible about it, not doing it in anger, in silence, in hoping that they get it, because trust me, they know it, but it still benefits them. Anger cleaning still gets you cleaning the house so they don't have to do it. Okay? And Judy, I'm Team Judy. I want Judy. And I feel like you and your daughter have even progressed in your relationship about this stuff since we've been hanging out together. But it still takes a while. I've been decluttering my own life only for the past maybe 10 years or so, because until then I was collecting and acquiring and things like that. And I am still not there yet. I'm closer than I've ever been. But even today myself, I have some wiggle room. I don't expect my husband to be perfect because I'm not perfect myself. I made some ramen when I got home from New York City yesterday because I was exhausted. But I said to him, just so you know, I am probably not going to do those dishes in the sink. I will leave them till the morning. Yeah. Living with anyone is challenging. Yeah, even when it's yourself. Right? Right? Damn it, Donna. Good morning, Jesse. So decluttering really is. This is a thing that I just feel so strongly about. When you learn and practice taking care of yourself and your stuff, and that is reflected in your home, that means you care. You're taking care. Notice the other phrase, I don't care. I don't care if it's like that. So you are a person who cares. And it's to the level where it's sensitive to your nervous system. Yeah, and Judy, I know her behavior is a result of my bad habits, until I've learned from you. Yeah. And think of the percentage of time that you've hung out with her in her entire life. And you've been doing things yourself, and they get the fraction of the time you and I hang out together and talk about these things. So you are doing so good with the fact that this is still a new skill for you too. Being aware, wow, it really does piss me off when I see the counters all smudgy. Now, am I going to be that nitpicky and insist my husband scrub them all the time? No, I will probably do it myself. But there is going to be a level at which I expect him to do his things. And if I want to do 10% more, that's fine. Now, I love this. Kat Roby, speaking of counters. And I love it. Back to magazine worthy. Check. Chairs clear. Check. Now, they do say that women, I don't know, there may be a study or that just could be sexist, that women are a lot more sensitive to varying degrees of clutter. And I think of that, frankly, my pop psychology would be like, that's a safety mechanism, because you notice tiny details, because tiny details could kill you or your family. Making other people aware of how those affect you, and if you want to live together. An act of love can be cleaning up the crumbs. Yay, Barbara. Look at this, you guys. People declared what they were doing. I declare. Earlier in this TikTok live, and we've still got about 13 minutes left, Kat Roby's done her counters and her chairs. And Barbara says the 10 by 25 is empty. Much of the contents are still in the aisle, so I'm not done, but I am celebrating. Oh, hell yeah. We celebrate even when we're not there yet, because you know what? That celebration is you being there already. That's the good feeling we're going for, is yes. So you're there already, and that will fuel you getting it out of the aisles and into the next thing. So go, Barbara, go. I love it. There we go. Kat Roby is now listening. So notice this. Listening from a celebratory bubble bath. Planning her SBB mentally for the YouTube. Yes, let's all celebrate. Let's take a bubble bath. Let's celebrate with Barbara. Yay. Let's celebrate with Jellybee. Desktop is cleaned off. Yay, Farm Girl is halfway through decluttering her island. Yeah. And I love it. Barbara says that unit was going to be $436 for the month. The unit it's going into will be $38 for this month. And just think how much more money you can save when you're not in it at all. Now, I know some people live where they don't have, storage in your homes. So sometimes, occasionally, paying for storage is a necessary expense. But what I try to help you with is when you're paying for storage of stuff you don't even know what you have. That's money down the drain. I mean, think of it, Barbara. Think of that. If that was $436 for a month, a year of that would be well over $5,000 you're saving by decluttering. You are making money. You have more money to spend on other stuff, regardless of what that is, because you are decluttering. Decluttering makes you money. Decluttering makes you feel better. Decluttering makes life easier. So that's why I show up. Making you feel good, making things easier. Yeah, let's do that, shall we? Okay. Now, a couple of things before we sign off. We still have 11 minutes, but I just want to remind you and anybody new here, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. My coaching here on TikTok, on YouTube, and the internet. Destination Decluttered. The website is Destination Decluttered, no space in between. Destination Decluttered, past tense, DestinationDecluttered.com. Okay? Now, I mentioned that because we do a lot of cool things outside of TikTok. But the only people that can get invited to the cool things are the people who basically give me your email address so I can send the invite to you. Okay? So if you're interested in a declutter party, if you're interested in a free habit tracker that you can use, that this is mine for February, any of that kind of stuff, DestinationDecluttered.com. There's a form on the bottom of the homepage. Just put in your email address. Promise you're not a robot, and we can hang out together. Yes. And Barbara, notice the phrase, getting there destination. Yes, that's me. Small apartment and tiny classroom, but some is junk and it needs to go. Yeah. There we go. Sprinkle Your Blessing says, I just bagged a 40-gallon bag of leaves going to the next one while listening. Notice the leaves. The trees no longer needed the leaves, so they let them go easily. Now notice when they get on the ground, sometimes they can do a beneficial thing, but sometimes you don't want the leaves there. You move the leaves and it looks better for you. Yeah. And this is a great thing, Barbara. It's taking time, as it should. Do not race through this process. You will regret the racing and you won't enjoy the journey, the road trip, and you won't learn something. It's taking time because I'm labeling what is where, making it easier for you to find it in the future, and setting some of it to go elsewhere. Yeah. Yay, Barbara, you're doing it the right way. Take your time, do it right, as they say. Take your time, do it right. And right means at a pace that works for you. Now, yesterday I noticed, because I was walking on the streets of New York City, everybody's got a different pace. I am a fast walker. I am an aware pedestrian. Some people are slow and ambling and clueless and get in your way. But when you know where you want to go, you can have some pep in your step. I knew it was only a 10-minute walk between that one place and the other. I was excited to get there, so I had some pep in my step. But if you're just kind of ambling around, you're not going to get to the place because you don't have the place. But find a place that works for you. And if you're a slow walking Walter, as we like to joke in my family, you pull over to the side and let the people who want to rush by you fast. I would have pulled to the side if there was somebody running down the sidewalk. But notice a pace that feels comfortable to you. And that may differ from every other day. Today I may be walking more slowly because I am walking on my suburban streets and my feet kind of hurt from yesterday. But I'll feel okay. Every day you're going to drive at a different speed limit. Not even the limit. You're going to drive at a different speed, and you do it throughout the day. Think of how many times, if you watched your speedometer on your car, this is why I always love car analogies. How many times, how rarely you consistently, unless you're on, not autopilot, cruise control, you are going to be varying between 52, 57, 65, 84, 12. You're going to be varying your speed throughout the day in your car. Why would your body and your humanity be any different? Okay? Notice the energy you have today. What miles per hour would you like to kind of cruise along through? My miles per hour, I'm more cruising along in my life than I ever have been. I'm not racing, I'm cruising, I'm enjoying the journey. All right? Kara's got the laundry in. She fed the pug and hen. It sounds like you're writing a song. Made the bed, dressed, dishes away, and counters cleared. Now I'm icing my knee in a break. So notice it always will go back to number one, treating yourself well physically. I love that you are icing your knee to make yourself feel better. I love that Kat Roby is rewarding herself with a bubble bath. One of the things that I delighted about yesterday was getting something that smelled good, because it was like, ooh, this smells nice. I'm rewarding my olfactory senses with a delightful smell, not the smell of, sidewalk urine. Okay? Yay, Laura, thank you very much for your valuable advice, starting my day better. That is my hope, because when you feel better, maybe it's because you've heard my words instead of yours. When you feel better, you will do better. And even if you don't do a damn thing, but feeling better is the best thing. So Laura, just so you know, I do TikTok lives and YouTube lives almost every day. I'm going to look at my calendar right now because I didn't do them, as I joke. I kid. I do them every day except for when I don't. But there is a schedule of my TikTok lives and YouTube lives. So if you liked hanging out and listening to this stuff and asking questions, this is what I do. We've got TikTok lives and YouTube lives scheduled for today and tomorrow because today's a Thursday. This weekend, we have 3 declutter parties. They're the last ones scheduled for this month. And I just changed one of them in March. There's going to be one less in March. You guys don't even know the schedule for that. Now, next week, I'm giving you a heads up. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, there will be TikTok lives and YouTube lives. But Thursday through the following Monday, that's when it's so good that we have the videos on the YouTube channel, because that's what you can hang out with when I'm gone. Okay. I also think Carla's going to try to do her own like a Zoom call. She mentioned, I don't know if she gets in touch with me about it. There we go. Farm Girl says we all need a wake up alarm with Beth's voice in the morning. Oh my God. Can you even imagine? It's so funny because I hear the videos. So when I download this TikTok and I upload it to the YouTube channel, TikTok always grabs like 2 random snippets, and I tend to repost some of them here on TikTok. And sometimes I hear them, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like George Costanza, like listening to his voice on a cassette player. But you know what? It's the voice I have. It may not sound great, but I hope you feel the love and care and compassion for you and helpfulness, because I know if I can do this from where I came from in a cluttered home with cluttered people, if I can do this, I know you can too. And I'm going to show you how. I'm not going to try to have you figure it out like I did. Okay? So I'm here to help. I'm here to help, but I only go so far. I want you to think of this. You are always in the driver's seat of the car. I'm in the co-pilot seat. I'm here to help you move forward. But you know who's stopping you is the voice that's in the back seat. Okay? The voice in the back seat. Do not let that backseat driver have the last word. Even play around with them saying no. How can you say yes? Okay? Therapy Gal Sue, you're sweet, because I know it's even earlier where you are because you're in Texas and I'm in Pennsylvania. Yeah, Beth is the best wake up. No way I'm decluttering at 6 or 7 a.m., but so motivated to do my day. And I would say this, harness that motivation. It will not last. The harness on that motivation, I'm thinking because I've been watching Masterpiece Theater. As you guys know, it's my happy place. One of my happy places. Why should I just have one? I'm going to have a lot of happy places. Harnessing that motivation. It's like a temporary harness on a lovely little pony who's going to, or lovely Shire horse who's going to be pulling you forward. But that harness will dissolve and the horse will amble away and you'll be there again without the motivation. That's okay. You're not supposed to be moving forward all the time. Okay? So harness that motivation. And to me, the best way of harnessing this motivation, because this nice feeling that gets generated sometimes, this will be a nice little bubble. It's like a little cloud of a lovely scent. While you're still in that bubble, grab a pen, grab some paper, and just take 2-3 minutes. In 1 minute from now, I'm going to sign off. I am going to sit in the quiet. I'm going to turn off the TikTok in the quiet. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to look at my day. And I'm going to say, Thursday, February 19th, what are some things I have scheduled? But what are some things that I don't have scheduled, but I want to get done? Oh, and you know what? I just realized as I look at this, we'll have to do this on the YouTube. Carla, Patty, Lady Bandit, Krista Penny. I have some people to follow up with. Judy, just say Judy, I know you're here. Barbara, I had said that I was going to follow up with you about what your Monday plan was, okay? I kind of forgot. You know why? Because I had a plan that I wrote down on Monday and I forgot to look at it on the YouTube Live. So even if you don't remember what you said you were going to do on Monday, do something between now and the YouTube at 11 and I will check in with you. Not as a teacher saying, did you do your homework? but as somebody who is so excited to see what you've done so that you are moving towards your destination. Okay? Yeah, Kat Roby, here's a real quick thing I will share with you. The Great Smelling Energy Lotion After a Bath Orange Ginger is a state change. I bought something, and it makes me think of you. I bought something that smells real nice when I was in New York yesterday because it was a smell I smelled at the Roby Hotel in Chicago. And I had liked it so much I took a picture of the lotion at the place. So yay for good smells, okay? All right, everybody, I'm going to take off. I've got some stuff to do between now and when we meet again. My name is Beth, Decluttering Life Coach, Destination Decluttered. I hope your morning smells lovely, all right? And I'll see you in a little bit. Let's have some fun and get